Okay, so I have a really, really funny story that I remembered last night, and I think that the world deserves to know about it. Enough time has passed for me to tell this story, and I think it to be like really, really funny. So, back, I want to say 2021, I think I was 16 at the time. Like, I had just turned 16, I remember. Um, I didn't have my car yet, y'all. It took me about 3 months into being 16 for my parents to find me a car. So, because, like, at that time, it was, like, post-COVID, and it was at that point where, like, it was really hard to find a car because, like, they weren't shipping, like, like, the thing that goes into the car. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there was, like, a shortage on cars, and then they raised the price of cars, so it kind of took me a minute to get a car. You know what I mean? Because my parents didn't want to get me like a $40,000 car that I would have probably wrecked in a month, which it did take me 2 years to wreck my car, but I did do it, okay? However, I dated this dude, and I'm gonna call him Patrick, okay? His real name's not Patrick, but I have to tell this story. So it is a two-part. This is a two-part. Like I have to give the backstory in order to give the true story that I want to give. Okay. So me and Patrick started dating, and we went to the same school. Like we talked all the time, so we saw each other every day. Like we ate lunch together. It was a pretty. I mean, I can't complain. So one day Patrick's like, yo, like, do you want to come to my house after school and just watch a movie? And I was like, I'm down. And he, like, also wanted me to meet his grandparents. Now, in this point in time, me and him have been probably dating for 2 or 3 weeks. We have hung out with my friends a bunch of times. We hung out with my friends a bunch of times outside of school, so I was like, I'm down, like, I'll meet your grandparents, like, whatever. By the way, I have never had someone's parents not like me before, so, like, I'm always the parent's favorite, and they just know, like, you know what I mean? Like, my friends' parents have never, like, they always trust me, they love me, like, I'm so, like, they're, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just an amazing person all around with them. I love them, you know what I mean? And so, I was down. I was like, okay, like I'll meet them. So I went and I met them, and they absolutely loved me. They loved me. They still interact with me on Facebook and stuff like that. I'll see them in person, and they still interact with me. I absolutely love them, and I will always, just always, if they ever talk to me about the situation, I will apologize and let me explain. Okay. So basically, after school comes around, and basically he picks me up, and we go to his house. I meet his grandparents. We absolutely hit it off. We kicked it up, and he goes, "Okay, let's go to my room and watch a movie." Okay. Now, I did not know this entire time. Okay. So his grandparents, before I even came over there, told him to if I was going to be in that room, okay, with another man, by the way, like there's no way I'm gonna get pregnant, by the way. Um, they told him to not have the door closed, and they also told him to not have the light off. Okay. Now, I always am gonna respect the wishes of somebody's parent. I don't care who it is, and I did not know this, okay? I wanna say this. I absolutely did not know this. I wanna put that here, and I'll tell you guys when I knew this, okay? So just imagine for the next few minutes of the story, me just not knowing any of this, okay? So I go and I get on that man's bed. I get under the covers, and I'm laying there, like probably hoodie and sweatpants, okay? Don't ask. And and this man literally shuts the door and turns the light off, and we're watching a movie. Okay, his grandparents call him back there. They're texting me. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go talk to my grandparents." And I didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think anything was wrong. I thought that they were like this hip, like, you know what I mean? Like these like you know what I mean? And so he goes, "Hey, like, they just want us, like, to keep, like," and he opens the door and turns on the light, and he's like, "Oh, like, like the air," or something like that. Like, I don't remember what exactly he said, but he did not say his grandparents said to, okay? And I was 16, okay? When I was 16, like, certain things just would go over my head, so I guess fine. I don't know. I was just like, okay, whatever. And we continue to watch this movie, and then his grandparents, and then he like looks at his phone and he goes back in there. And now thinking about it, I'm like, his grandparents texted him again. And then he goes, hey, like, let's go sit on one of the couches in here. Like, my room's really hot. Okay, like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I get up, I go get on this couch, I get comfortable. Like, he makes it all comfortable, I get comfortable, whatever. And he's like, I just can't get comfortable on this couch. And then he tells his grandma, like, I just can't get comfortable on this couch. Can we go to my room? Like, can we just go to my room? Like, he wants to go to my room. And I was like, hold up. And I was like, wait, what? And this is when I realized they did not want me in the room. Okay, so they kind of go back and forth or start talking about like me being in this room. And I was like, dog, like, I don't have to be in this room. Like, we're cool. Like, I will sit right here. Like, and when, you know what I mean? Like, I would have sat on either side of them and like watched a movie. Like, I would have been fine. And on top of that, like, I would never do something with someone's grandparents, like, in the next room, okay? I know a lot of people would. I don't think I would. I mean, not at that time, not with that man. You know what I mean? Like, they were so sweet, too, and, like, they obviously had, like, certain values, and, like, they were nice enough to let me be there. Like, I was not about to do that. My mom raised me with a lot of respect, and I know a lot of people don't have that. So, like, I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm chill. Okay, so he then is like, okay, we need to go. Like, everyone's pissing me off. Like, let's go to Taco Bell and just, like, ride around. And I was like, okay, like, I'm down. Like, so we get in the car and we go to Taco Bell, right? So we're sitting in the Taco Bell parking lot, and this man's mother calls. And by the way, his mom, like, lives an hour away. So did mine at the time. And like, we lived with our grandparents. Like, we had a lot in common, actually. And one thing about my mom is that she will back me up during everything. I see my mom a lot. I love my mom. She will back me up in any situation. Like, if an adult is saying I'm being disrespectful, she's like, okay, what did you do to make him disrespectful? And my mom was not always like that. Like, when I got in trouble in school, like, it was a whole different situation. But if, like, my boyfriend's mom is yelling at me, she's gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? And, like, that woman did not play with my discipline, by the way. Like, she is a disciplinarian. Like, I respect her for it, and I'm not gonna cross her. And she knows this, okay? Like, she knows if I'm acting up and she needs to be called, like, something's up, okay? You know what I mean? Well, anywho, so she calls and she is just like tearing his ass a new one, which rightfully so. Like, he was kind of rude to his grandma, and I didn't like that either, and I was kind of talking about that before. And this is why this part makes me so much more mad, is so basically he's kind of defending himself and she's getting really aggravated, and basically she's like, well, and she pulls me into it, by the way, and she starts talking about like how I don't even remember word for word what she said, but I remember it was really, really disrespectful, and she was just, like, really, really coming at me. And I was like, hold up. First of all, I was about, like, I couldn't, when she was yelling at me, like, I physically could not speak, because, first of all, I didn't know. Second of all, I was fine with it. And third of all, I was just bitching at him because she was like, you know what I mean? Like, I was on your side, babe. Like, I was fully on your side, babe. I was fully on your side, okay? And now I'm not. So I am about to start speaking as soon as she stops speaking, because one thing about me is I don't like being interrupted, and I knew she was probably gonna be like that if I started with her mid her conversation. So I let her get it out, and I was ready to roll, babe. Okay, I was ready to roll. And you know what? He looked at me and he goes, hey, just like say okay, like it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. And I was like, okay. And she goes, why are you not speaking? Are you scared? To this day, I'm still shook by that, okay? Are you scared? No, bitch. My mom scares me. She's like, do I need to call your mom? And I was about to be like, yes, bitch, call her. I'll fucking call her right now. I'll explain to her exactly, because here's the thing. She knew my mom, okay? It turned out the whole time she knew my mom, okay? Babe, do you think like, call her, call her, call her. And he's like, she's not gonna call her, she's not gonna call her. And I was like, fucking call her, fucking call her. And he was like, and I was like, she'll fucking defend me. Like, oh, what? Okay. And I'm like, no. And I was just like, hang up, like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I just stopped talking and he handled it and whatever. But, you know, and later on, I told my mom about that, and she was like, I wish she would have fucking called me. Like, I would have beat her ass. Like, why the fuck was she yelling at you? Like, my mom was so heated about that I did not call her in that situation. She was like, you should have called me, put me on speaker, and me and her could have, like, or she was like, three-way me in. And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, you want to pull my mom into it? You want to pull the woman who raised me into it, okay? You're yelling at me for something that I have nothing to do with, okay? So, and there's a reason I'm telling this story, okay? So, later on, Patrick just becomes, like, crazy. I'm kind of realizing I'm dating a lizard, and we break up very non-amicably. It was kind of a mess. It was really bad. I'm gonna be real. And whatever, and you know, and I kind of had forgotten about it, but so we had broken up of December of 21, okay, and my cousin graduated in May of 23, okay, and so I go to my cousin's graduation 6 months later. I am 6 months off of an actually crazy relationship. Like, y'all, I turned off Life 3, like, he and my best friend somehow got me to be in a Life 360 circle. I don't know how this happened. Like seriously, like, I've never let myself on a Life 360 circle other than this one time. Like, I don't know what I was going through. I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe I was drinking. I don't know what happened. But yeah. And one night my best friend's like, go ahead and turn it off. Like, let's see what happens, okay? I turn it off, and like 3 seconds later he's like blowing up my phone, like 4 texts, calling me. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Okay, like, it was really toxic. It got really, really bad, and I left, you know what I mean? And saw that woman a few weeks later, and look, man, I saw her, and I had never seen her in person, but I knew what she looked like. Like, I knew, like, I've met her before, like, you know what I mean? And she stared at me the entire time, and I told my mom about it. She was like, I dare her to come up to us. Y'all, when I tell you, every time I would walk back and forth, every time she would look at me, she would get on her phone, she'd start clapping at it. I'm talking like, and at like one point during that night, I remember, I think I even like ran into her, and I was just like, excuse me, like, and like, I think one of, like, he was graduating, like, literally that night too, so his entire family was there. I ran into his grandparents. They're like, hey sweetie, like, we love you, we miss you, like, we're sorry about what happened. And I told them my part of it, and they were like, oh my gosh, like, whatever, you know. And it was insane. It was insane. And this bitch, I swear, I think I've seen her one time since then, and she still gives me the same look. And I'm like, okay, girl, like, it's been years. It was a 2-month relationship. Like, oh, like, I don't know. I could fucking cry. I don't know, man. I think I was done really shitty in that situation, though. Cause, like, what the fuck? To this day, that is still one of my most, that relationship is probably one of my biggest regrets. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have a lot of them. But, like, I think if, like, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. It was not good. It was not good at all. It was so bad. And I was going through it, man. However, can I just say, this man also works at Walmart now, so it's like, it's an uphill journey every single time. Well, anywho, you guys, I hope you guys really got something out of today, and I think you should all really learn something. Like, looking back at, like, being 16 and 17 as a whole, and even 18, now that I'm 19, it's like, man, like I got put in a lot of situations similar to that and also not similar to that maybe I shouldn't have been in. Like that is a situation a 16-year-old dude who like was just trying to go chill and watch a movie. Literally just that, okay? Like I get how it sounds, man, but like I was probably gonna take a nap. It was a long ass day at school. Like whenever I went to school, like I was a socialite. I was, not, I was doing work, but I was also like, I was doing a lot during those times, and I would take a nap most of the day, and that's really what I was getting down with. But, some people just, I guess, think I'm just gonna do everything. I love them all, except for maybe two of them, my ex and his mom, but, that's whatever. And I hope you guys gained something from this. Oh, anyway, I absolutely love you. Thank you so much for watching once again. Follow me, link in the description, everywhere. All of my socials, music, all of that is linked there. And thank you for watching.